Hunter to start things off. Hype's gonna begin on the Druid, which has been very trusty for him so far. I really wonder what's in this deck too, because a lot of people say the Druid has to stay relevant in the metagame nowadays with Wild Growth, but I don't even know if Hype runs Wild Growth at all.
Yeah, it looks to me like, here's what he's done. To me, it looks like he's cut Wild Growth, and he's extended his spike to be just a different kind of spike. So he wants to use Zombie Chow to kind of pick apart this opponent's board and then have Ancient Watcher Silence to effectively be your Wild Growth or another copy of Wild Growth or Innervate effect, where you kind of get the ball rolling a little bit earlier. But this may be a tough one. Lothar has started off with 2 Undertakers. He doesn't have a Death Rattle yet, but he does have 2 draws to get it. And I don't think Black Knight is the first draw that Hyped wanted, but very happy to see Zombie Chow on his side of the board. Like, this actually may stop these Undertakers from coming down at all.
How important is it to save Hunter's Mark II against this type of Druid, do you think?
That's a good question. I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this Druid deck's so new, right? It's really difficult.
Yeah, this is a Druid deck. This is the benefit of playing stuff that your opponents are going to be unfamiliar with, though, is that they're not practiced in this scenario. Lothar, again, failing to draw a Death Rattle. And, I said this yesterday, and I'm still going to point it out today. I think Cult Master is a terrible card. And a lot of people have been using it as like a Buzzard replacement, but one of the reasons that Buzzard was so good with Unleash the Hounds was that you got to draw the cards immediately. So when you made 3 tokens and you drew 3 cards, if the last card was a Hunter's Mark, it was fantastic for you. You got to Hunter's Mark their guy and then use a Hound to chew through it. But with Cult Master, you're doing it the other way. All your dogs are dying and then you're drawing your cards. So if your Hunter's Mark is in the bottom half of that, you're effectively seeing, it's just a card draw effect. That's all it is. So I would like to see this just replaced with some other effect that's going to help to push damage through, or to perform something else. I just don't really see the purpose of it.
Do you see the purpose of Swipe right here, though?
Yeah, I do. I think Swipe is a really skilled and well thought out play here from Hyped. It's a tough one to make. You do have to take 2 points of damage from that Leopard Gnome to do it, and you have to sacrifice 2 health on your Zombie Chow. But you got to do what you got to do.
Tough decisions, man. Honestly,
it looks like he's thinking about some other options, though. I would be very, very surprised if he did not choose a Swipe here.
Yeah, I think so too. You kill off 2 Undertakers immediately.
Not swiping here would just strictly be a mistake. I don't think there's any way around it.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's got the combo. Unleash the Hounds with Cult Master and Hunter's Mark. You know what's so hilarious about this Admiral? Iron Beak Owl has 2 targets where it can't hit. So it's like you can't even play it just as a vanilla beast.
All right, Lothar going to hit the board. We'll see how Hype chooses to respond to this. I imagine it will just be his own Lothar, unless he draws something of pretty big relevance. It could be Spectral Knight now. So he's got a couple of options. If he didn't have either of these minions in his hand, I'm curious what the merits of silencing your Ancient Watcher and going to face are versus going for the Lothar trade.
I'm trying to think of the pros and cons of playing Lothar as opposed to Spectral Knight, but I feel like Spectral Knight is a little bit stickier, right? So isn't that what you want against the Hunter? Unless you're afraid of Unleash the Hounds being something irrelevant, but even then, Spectral Knight is still really good against it.
Sort of, yes. Here's what I'm seeing is that if you play Spectral Knight and Lothar crashes into your Zombie Chow next turn, your Spectral Knight can attack the Lothar, and it's not going to die. But if you play Lothar, your opponent's going to attack your Zombie Chow, and then your Lothar would have to trade directly into the Lothar that way. So he just buys a free card that way. I mean, alternatively, you can use Keeper of the Grove and then use your own hero power, but you'll pay 4 points of health that way, and you also don't have an access to a silence on your Ancient Watcher after that. So really big pros and cons of the 2 different lines. I think that Spectral Knight is going to be better because of that, though.
And on the flip side, Lothar really wants to keep this combination of Unleash and Cult Master, but does he have to use Unleash now? Because you can silence the Spectral Knight and then use Hunter's Mark on it, taking it out very easily. Yeah. Although you are giving up a lot of cards.
It's kind of, to me, it's kind of another reason that I don't think that Cult Master should be in this deck. I mean, I don't know, maybe it'll get work done, but I think more often than not, it's just going to kind of fall by the wayside. So now he's free to use his Keeper of the Grove just to deal 2 damage, which is totally fine. His opponent's going to be reduced to 2 cards, with just a 1/1 Hound on the board, he's going to be able to use hero power to take out the Iron Beguile too. And his follow-ups after that are going to be very strong. Like even just Black Knight as a 4/5 is a totally fine minion, but he has it available in case, say, Lothar makes a Misha or has a Houndmaster or something like that. Lothar is a big turn, and then he's going to scale into scenarios, and I think this game is about to snowball out of control. Oh, Kodo!
Ooh.
Wow, that is a really huge draw right now, believe it or not. That's a 4 point of damage Kodo. And it's a 3/5 body, so Lothar will be protected here because he's not going to have the mana to kill command after that, but that was pretty much, I think it was one of the only ways that Lothar could even try to stay in the game was a card just like Kodo. But
what does he need now?
Yeah, I don't know. I still think it's going to slip away. Harrison Jones is not going to do it.
Well, it is
it's
a body.
Be a 5/4 body, yep. So, he does have some damage rolling again, but this Cult Master, I mean, this has become a 4/2 at this point. How does he ever get value from this? I suppose if Lothar attacks this 3/5, and then he can play Cult Master and trade his Harrison Jones. But trading is like not what he wants. That's not what he wants to be doing right now. He wants to be actually pushing for damage. So if he chooses to go the Cult Master route, he's probably likely going to have to kill command as well to try to protect his 4/2.
Okay, well, you can flare first to evaluate his draw.
Definitely the flare here.
Blah. Yeah, well, let's see what he draws here off the Cult Master pick off.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just better served as Azure Drake at this point.
Or is he thinking about pushing for damage? Because this is 5 damage to face. I think that's too much, though.
He's definitely thinking about it, but it's like your Cult Master isn't doing anything to try to like help that plan out. It's just a 4/2. So if you push for face, he's gonna kill your Cult Master first, of course. I mean, this is what makes sense. I mean, Cult Master's in here to try to regain that advantage. It's just a matter of whether or not it can.
Mm-hmm.
Again, unless he just wants to turn his Cult Master into basically a Gnomish Inventor, he's going to have to kill command here. But even that, it's like his opponent is still going to play a minion afterwards. The Cult Master is going to get threatened. Like, you're not going to be able to charge your minions into play.
Yeah.
It's like, and again, now this plan is kind of going against. Did he miss his Cult Master attack? Oh no, he just played Cult Master.
No, he just played.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just working against your plan, really. Like, I mean, these 2/1s are not going to die. These 1 health minions are not going to die before Cult Master does. But I guess it's kind of like a 4-mana 4/2 taunt. It's like a Booty Bay bodyguard.
So. I suppose so, but I do follow your philosophy where it's a little bit better to streamline your game plan, unless we see players who say, I want to play just a traditional mid-range hunter, but instead of the buzzard, I'm just going to use Cult Master. But is that as strong as just going for Undertaker and streamlining your plan so that way you have early aggression?
That I don't know. I think it's better to just streamline your early aggression, really ramp up your curve, and hope it hits the best.
Okay. Hypes. Opting for Spectral Knight. He can remove Cult Master pretty efficiently with Savage Roar, and then opt to do everything else, but it looks like he's going to save it for potential game-ending damage. Just take it slow. No need to rush it at all. You can completely get behind this.
Yep. Gonna suffer some damage here, but this Haunted Creeper is this Web Spinner is basically gonna need to draw King Crush.
Let's make it happen. King Crush is 9 mana too.
Yep. All right. Well, the Timberwolf.
Close.
the closest thing to King Crush is Timberwolf.
I mean, if you want to pick on the opposite polar extreme, it'd probably be Stone Tusk Boar. Stone Tusk Boar is like a mini King Crush.
It's more efficient in terms of mana.
Yeah,
1 mana, 1 power, 1 health. And King Crush is 9 mana, 8 power, 8 health. King Crush is 8 Stone Tusk Boars. All in all, it's a Stone Tusk Boar herd.
I guess we finally have the answer to the question. Would you rather fight like 1 Stone Tusk Boar size King Crush, or 8 King Crushes that's a Stone Tusk Boar size? Whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
1 King Crush size Stone Tusk Boar, or 8 King Crush Stone Tusk Boar sized King Crushes. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I wouldn't want to fight either, but if I had to choose, I guess I'd go with like the 1 King Crush. And get like Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park to chase him away. like with the flare. He gets out of the car and he's like, "Hey, King Crush!" And the lawyer gets eaten by the dinosaur while he's in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, on that porta potty. I remember. That's definitely good times. That's old school. Lothar's gonna concede. There's nothing he can do, and he's just gonna let the Druid continue its rampage 4-0. Wow. Well, this Druid okay though, because you are adding cards like Sludge Belcher in, so there's still lots of taunts for you. I mean, we're not even gonna see that matchup right now. It's Priest versus Hunter.
I'm really surprised he chose to go with Hunter. I mean, maybe at this point he's trying to queue up what he feels is his worst matchup versus his opponent's remaining decks.
Certainly feels that way. Hunter against Warrior and Priest is not too much.
Yeah. And this is a very different Hunter deck than the one Lothar is playing. We see Knife Juggler and Direwolf Alpha, so this is going to indicate he's playing cards like Snake Trap, and he's looking to leverage a very early board position to make the mid-game push. Like, his late game at this point is quite literally, if he has it, Savannah Highmane. But in a deck like this, a lot of things that I've seen too is I've often seen Sludge Belcher be the drop instead of a Savannah Highmane, because you're just trying to protect your small guys. So like you get a little bit of a board lead, and then use Sludge Belcher to kind of run linebacker for everything.
All right, sounds good. Well, he picks up Undertaker as well. That's really nice, considering that Lothar's hand is looking very poor. Like, he has the Pyromancer, but he doesn't have coin. He tossed away Power Word Shield in anticipation of perhaps getting that turn 1 Northshire Cleric. There is some hesitation, though, from Hyped, but I don't see what the wait's for.
I think he's just debating whether or not that Knife Juggler is going to be better than Undertaker with another Death Rattle. So, I mean, he doesn't have any other Death Rattles in his hand, so I can see the idea of trying to get, a little bit more Knife Juggler value. But you do... I mean, he did see Lothar playing Shadow Word Pain yesterday and playing Holy Smite, so you do risk a little bit more by playing the Knife Juggler, I think. And playing it this way, your main drop is invulnerable to Holy Smite. And wow, he actually he's going to play Wild Pyromancer straight away, and Hyped has one of the best cards in his deck, I think, to deal with that. He's going to draw a beast from this Web Spinner. This is an important beast, too. This could snowball the game. He draws Starving Buzzard.
He's got Buzzard and Unleash.
I'd hate to keep bringing up this point, but I want to go back to the Cult Master. If you're going to play Cult Master, you might as well just play Starving Buzzard. You have to wait so long to pull the combo off anyway. At the 1 extra mana to draw the cards immediately is probably just a better plan.
What's funny is Lothar was playing Buzzard too. I think he was playing Buzzard in his WCA decks, wasn't he? Oh, he gets this card way too late.
Yeah, I don't know if he's playing Buzzard in his WCA decks. That I don't know, but I do know that this hand is looking really terrible for Lothar at the moment. There's just going to be more and more pressure added to the board. Hype doesn't even really have to commit that much to this board at this point. Like, I think you're very liable to see Knife Juggler here, and then just Hero Power and go from there. Like, the Snake Trap is... I don't know why you'd play Snake Trap, because Snake Trap's not going to get anything done. Like, your opponent doesn't have charge minions in the deck.
Yeah.
Like, what does he play on 5 mana? He's not going to play, like, Stormwind Knight or anything.
But he does have Holy Nova.
Yeah, so that's the other thing, too, is Holy Nova. Like, if you're going to play Snake Trap, I feel like you would play Snake Trap and Hero Power rather than Knife Juggler and Snake Trap. Because at this point, he's just foregone a Hero Power. So a little bit of an opportunity cost. It looks like he just wants to straight away develop the board, though. So, I mean, you saw him kind of, he was thumbing that Starving Buzzard. I think he's just going to play it this turn. And that's exactly what... Okay, so he was just favoring development. That's exactly what he was doing. He intended to play Starving Buzzard next turn, and that's why he played Snake Trap, is because he just wanted to overdevelop the board. So his line was not to invest into hero powers. It was just to invest in board development. So it's not a mistake. This was his intentional play.
Right. Because what happens if he's forcing reactions every single time that he wants, this Undertaker's still putting in damage every single turn.
Yeah.
So next turn he's got Savannah Highmane. So if his opponent responds with Shadow Madness and pass, he's not playing minions. Then you play Savannah Highmane and then you force a reaction. It's just like a chain thing where your opponent's still getting damage every single turn and he's snowballing his lead and his tempo.
Yep. So he's going to try to rely... He wanted to force Holy Nova so that way the Snake Trap would draw up cards with Buzzard. That's what he was doing. Yeah, so... Misinterpretation of a line by me. But where does he go from here? Now, that Leperno was a really, really strange draw, because you can choose to draw a couple of cards here with the Unleash the Hounds, which in this matchup I don't feel like it's a very good card, so using it as like an Arcane Intellect effectively I don't think is really bad. He can still buff up his Undertaker with Lepernome afterwards. I think originally he was just going to slam high main and go from there, but now he's got options. Like I say, he draws a kill command off of his Unleash the Hounds.
Oof. I like it. When you're talking like that, Admirable, it makes a lot of sense. I think the Unleash the Hounds might be his best course, because if you use Leopard Gnome to buff, you can still kill everything off and either keep your Buzzard or keep your Undertaker.
Yeah, I think the fact that he's seen a Holy Nova is going to greatly influence his decision here too. And so he's thinking about like the math. He wants to know like what are his odds to draw kill command. If he has Hunter's Marks, what are his odds to draw that? But he's got to do something now.
He also does draw a card off the Savannah Highmane. Don't forget that. Yeah. So he's still making up his deficits slightly.
I think he's going to protect his Buzzard here. I think he's just going to sacrifice his Undertaker. Oh, he's not going to. Wow. All right, he wants that. He wants that 4/5 to attack the Starving Buzzard here.
Wow, how annoying is this? You can't kill the Highmane because you have to kill off the Buzzard first before you kill off the Highmane. But then if you attack into it, you draw him cards anyways.
Yeah. This mid-game hand from Lothar is just really unfortunate. He drew both copies of Holy Fire and both copies of Shadow Word Death and really nothing to do with them. I think it makes a lot of sense to Holy Fire this Starving Buzzard, honestly. I mean, this play, to me, really telegraphs Snake Trap. It's just like, please attack my Starving Buzzard. Just putting his opponent in.
5-mana Starving Buzzard still terrorizing Hearthstone tournaments.
It's been freezing trapped to make it cost 2 more, and then fed a banana to nurse it back to health.
That's true.
Yep. So I like his Holy Fire play here. I think if you give him too many more cards, he's just going to run away with the game.
But now he's got the Law of Highmane working on his side.
That is definitely true, and he's down to 20, so he's going to be falling very quickly. These turns feel like they're a little bit shorter than usual, don't they?
I think so. It feels like it.
It really does. There's just so much happening in these turns. Like, what are these players thinking about? What do they have to fight against? What are they trying to set up? He actually chooses just not to attack, so he doesn't want to give his opponent another bow charge. In his mind, like there's a very high potential this is also freezing trap. So he's choosing to not go for face. In the same vein, he doesn't want to give his opponent another bow charge. He's just trying to stem the potential long-term damage. But I think Hyped is just more than happy to probably just attack with the bow anyway.
This Undertaker is out of control. The Law of Highmane's in effect.
Yeah.
Priest is down to 7 HP.
That's probably going to do it. I don't see any way out of this.
He needed like an all-kind circle combination.
Even that, I mean, even that would still be rough.
Yeah, because he's running low on health now.
Yeah.
Wow, what a explosive game from Hyped. And you were saying how this was one of his weaker decks, where he wasn't necessarily expecting to get the win, but now he's up 2-0, and he can switch decks again. So if Lothar is going to be pushed to his Druid deck, then Hyped can match up whatever deck he feels like is the best, or even work backwards once again from their point with 3 chances to end the series.
Yep. Yeah, that's going to do it. There's just no way out of it. His draws in the middle of the game were just very opposite of what he needed. He needed minions to try to get the ball rolling, and instead he was drawing reactive spells.
Everyone tries to go like all in on the synergy, right? Like Death Lords, you get like Dancing Swords, and then like Zombie Chows, but you just have to simply include it where it's an area where it can shine. Well, in this case, Hype does have some Druid cards where like Ancient Watchers synergizes really well. Yep. He's going to stick on Hunter, and we're going to see whether or not Lothar can be able to hold this off. Now, Lothar already making changes from yesterday compared to today. Yesterday, he held Healing Touch against Hunter, I believe. Yep. This time around, he's not going to make that same choice, instead opting to throw away everything. And he gets a pretty decent 2-card combination with Innervate and Keep of the Grove, but his other 2 cards are looking pretty poor.
Gosh, look at Hype's hand. This is no joke. That Innervate is just of paramount importance, I think, for Lothar here. Without an Innervate Keeper or a Wrath here, I think you would see this game get run away with right away. But since it's like this, he's going to be able to weather the storm. I actually think Lothar's in really good shape to win this hand. I'm sorry, to win this game because of the Innervate draw.
Yeah, you know, if he wasn't able to kill off this Undertaker, that'd be 4 damage coming in, and Lothar would just be hero power passing. So, would have been lights out from that point on. Still, though, it depends on what Hype's able to draw, too. Because if Lothar's just passing the next couple turns, which very well might be the case, I mean, this gives Hype some time to recover. Like, if he gets Animal Companion, he gets a pretty decent one. And it just stretches out from that point on.
Yeah, let's see what his 3-drop is. Oh, well, it is Animal Companion. And he makes a Huffer.
And if he just passes on this turn...
Oh my gosh, Lothar needs a good draw right now. He does not get it. And this could be the pressure that Hype needs to be able to run away with this game.
Yikes, this Huffer's done 8 damage.
Oh my gosh, if he draws another Animal Companion,
I mean,
Direwolf Alpha, that's still pretty good. That Direwolf Alpha is actually really good right now.
It's like equivalent to getting a Leok in a sense. Yeah. But you get the hero power.
Do you hero power or do you up the Leopard Gnome? I think you just drop the Leopard Gnome because you want to keep your opponent off of their 5-drop, or you want the Leopard Gnome to actually get through some damage. So to me, it makes a lot of sense to play this. Just develop the Leopard Gnome.
Oh. Wow, as if to insult Lothar based off what happened in the early game. He gets
just in time
now. Oh, man.
All right, so
Lothar gets immediately bullied, and then Drew the Claw.
Question with Drew the Claw here, I think, is if what are the merits of charging it into the Direwolf Alpha instead of taunting it? Because if you taunted it, would trade 2 for 2 straight away. But if you charge it in, you're set with a 2 health Drew the Claw, but it is still threatening the Huffer to some point. But the trade off for that is 4 damage. So
yeah, he may just showdown.
He may just be forced to taunt this.
I wanted to see the Huffer showdown. If you go cat versus pig, who wins? We've been 2 4-2s going at it.
Well, it's going to be bear versus pig and dog. Which, kill command may be the tiebreaker. Wow, he picks up another Savannah Highman. Oh my goodness. I don't think that Lothar is going to be able to pick up the pieces from this game. I think he's just going to fall too far behind.
One Unleash the Hound doggy. Is that what it takes to push through?
I'd much rather sacrifice the Direwolf Alpha in this position.
Yeah.
You can see he really doesn't want to, but I definitely think it's his best play. This is a spot, too, where, by the way, if he had Leopard Gnome on the board, this would be a very different scenario.
That's also true. That is a very fair point. You know, before I was thinking that you want to try and weave in hero power as much as you can for the same reasons that we saw D2 against Lothar weave in hero power as often. But if he went for the Leopard Gnome, would have been the case that he would have been able to save this Huffer. He's going to prioritize.
Yeah, why did he choose to unleash the Hounds, though? I wonder. Did he think that he had mana available for kill? Why does he? And he develops the Leopard Gnome here instead. That's really strange to me.
Yep. No, it is. It was a slight misstep here.
I mean, this is basically the exact same turn you were just in, except you're more open to something like Force Nature, which, you know, the difference between turn 6 and turn 5 is that Druid of the Claw is coming down, and on this turn, Druid of the Claw Druid of the Claw or Force Nature can come down. Which I guess Force Nature is not the worst thing in the world. I mean, he does get to develop his Highmane and keep making a push, so it's not like... I don't think that this mistake is necessarily a big one, or even one that matters. And it may have been his intent to get his opponent to use Force Nature so that he can slam down the Savannah Highmane. I think that's a realistic possibility as well.
Right, or swipe or something. Like anything that would have taken up a lot of his mana without developing anything on the board. Yep. Highmane is uncontested. And short of Sylvanas Naturalize, I think this Highmane's safe.
That's a combination I'm going to start playing.
Yep.
Just for you.
Thank you. Do it. Make Naturalize work. You're the Druid
I'm going to do it. I ain't scared. Law of Highmane coming into effect, and I think this is going to continue to be true over and over again. It's going to be followed by a second Savannah Highmane, and there are no taunts in sight. Never mind, it's not going to be followed by a second Savannah Highmane. He's actually just going to...
You got kill command, right? So just set up for the lethal kill next turn.
Yeah, it looks like your opponent is going pretty low on life there, so... Seems fine to me. Wrath is not going to be enough.
Yes, he needed...
He kept the healing touch. I don't think it'd be enough either. I think he felt like he needed wild growth to try to stay ahead in the game.
Gosh, what can you even get now? Wrath into swipe? No, you don't even stay alive anymore.
I don't think Janeway lives anymore.
I guess you Wrath to see what you've withdrawn, and that's gonna be a 3-0. Hyped moves on to the top 4, and Lothar is gonna drop here despite taking out Strife Crow to start off the tournament. Looks like Lothar's run will end here once